If you've been looking for some cool ukulele riffs to have in your back pocket to impress everyone you know, you've come to the right place. Because I'm gonna show you 5 iconic riffs that will sound good on any ukulele. The first riff is going to be Come As You Are by Nirvana, and it goes like this. So the first thing you do, you're gonna put your index finger on the 4th fret of the C string, and then you're gonna hit that note 2 times. So 1, 2. Then you're gonna put your middle finger on the 5th fret of that string, and then your ring finger on the 6th fret. So it's gonna be 1, 2, 5, 6. While you press that 6th fret on the C string, your middle finger is going to launch up in the air and land on the 5th fret of the E. So it's gonna be launch. And now you're gonna do some alternate picking. You're going to pick the E, C, E, C string. And now you're gonna hit the 6th fret of the C string again. And now you're gonna waltz back. So your middle finger is gonna jump back to the 5th fret of the C string. And then you're gonna waltz back to the 4th one. So it's E, C, 6, 5, 4. And then you're gonna put your pinky finger on the 7th fret of the E string like this. And you're gonna hit that string. And then you're gonna play the C string twice again. So it's waltz back, pinky, and then C, C. Now if you want to loop this, don't start with the 4, 4 again in the beginning. No, you're going to start with 7, 4, and then you can immediately waltz forward. So it's going to be like that. The second iconic riff that we'll break down on the ukulele is going to be I Can Get No Satisfaction by the Rolling Stones. And it goes like this. First step to this riff is to play the G and the C string like this. But you're not going to let it ring for that long. No, you're going to mute it with your fretboard hand like this. So it's going to be 1. And you can mute it by literally placing your fingers on the strings. Don't press the frets. So don't do this. No, you're going to do just tap it silent. And after that, you're going to hit the G and the C string one more time. But this time you're going to let them ring out a little bit longer. So it's going to be like that. After that, you're going to pluck those two one more time, but immediately after that, you're going to press the 2nd fret of the G and the 2nd fret of the C with your middle finger and ring finger. So it's going to be pluck, mute, ring, pluck one more time. Now you're going to shift those fingers to the 3rd frets of the G and C and play that again. 2, 3. And now you're going to pluck the G and the C twice while your fingers are still on the 3rd fret. So it's going to be 1, 2. And then as you play that 2nd time, you're going to slide your fingers back to the 2nd fret. So it's going to be... And then you're going to play those 2nd frets again. And then you're going to take off your fingers like this. You don't have to do a pull off. You can just literally lift them off. It gives that little bit extra dynamic and effect. So it's going to be... Slide... And then take off like that. The third riff we're going to break down is going to be Beat It by Michael Jackson. First off, you're going to play an open C string. Then with your index finger, you're going to play the 3rd fret of the C string and the 3rd fret of the E. I'm doing a small bar over here, which will eventually kind of escalate into a little bit of a bigger bar on the A string. If you don't want to do that, you can also use your separate fingers. So it's going to be open, 3rd, 3rd, and then your pinky finger is going to go on the 6th fret of the A string. And then you're going to hit that string. And then you're going to take your pinky off while your index finger is still barred. And then the motion is... Then with your pinky or ring finger, you're going to do a hammer on from the 3rd fret to the 5th fret on the A string. Then you can take that finger off. And then you're going to play the 3rd fret again. And then your pinky finger is going to go on the 6th fret of the E string. And you're going to play that note 2 times. So it's going to be hammer on, 3rd, and then 1, 2. Then for the 2nd segment of this riff, you're going to repeat it all the way until just after the hammer on. So until this part. Here. And instead of playing the 6th fret of the E string 2 times, you're going to hit that note 1 time. And then with your playing hand, with your hand that's over the strings, you're going to do a percussive effect like this. I'm actually just tapping my nails against the fretboard. You can just use any type of percussive effect that feels right to you. There are no rules here. Then you have 1, 2, 3. Riff number 4 that we're going to break down right now is going to be Do I Want to Know by the Arctic Monkeys. And it sounds like this. So the first thing you do, you're going to put your index finger on the 4th fret of the C string and your middle finger on the 5th fret of the E. It will be easier to have it pressed down already because for what I'm going to show you next. So it's going to be 4th fret on the C. Then with your ring finger, you're going to hammer onto the 6th fret. So 4, 6. And then you can play the E string like this. And it's nice because your middle finger was already positioned there. So it's going to be... And then you're going to play the C string like this. Once more. So it's... They can tap 2 times. Or tap 2 times in your mind, like that is how long the break is. After that, you're going to repeat the part until here. So you're going to do a hammer on again, 5th fret. But instead of going back to C, no, you're going to do another hammer on from 5th to 7th on the A string. So it's going to be shift, 5, 7. Then you're going to play the 5th fret on the A string again. So it's going to be 5, 7, 5 again. And now you're going to put your middle finger, I repeat middle finger, on the 7th fret of the E. It will become much easier for the part after to use this finger. So then you're going to do another hammer on from the 7th to the 9th fret of the E string with your middle finger and pinky. So it's going to be hammer on 1, hammer on 2, and the same motion. So again, 7, 9, 7. Now you're going to put your index finger, which is kind of hovering above the 5th fret of the E, down. And then you're going to do a hammer on from 5 to 7 on the E string. So this is why it was better to use your middle. So then you're going to do a hammer on. And your pinky finger is going to go on the 9th fret of the E. And then you can play the 7th fret of the E. So it's going to be like that. And now you can play the same hammer on from the 5th to the 7th fret of the E. And now you're going to do that hammer on from 7 to 9 twice. So 1, 2. And then your index finger is going to be placed on the 6th fret of the C. So it's 1, 2, 3, like that. For the 5th and final riff that we'll break down in this video, we're going to do No Surprises by Radiohead. And it goes like this. So for this riff, we're going to travel all the way up on the uke and we're going to put our index finger on the 12th fret of the C, middle finger on the 12th fret of the A, and then our ring finger on the 13th fret of the E. You might recognize a G major shape. So basically it's that, but then higher up. The picking pattern goes like this. A, C, E, C. That is one loop. So you're going to play this loop 3 times. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, and it helps to put an emphasis on the A string. That makes it sound even better. And now your index finger is going to shift back to the 8th fret of the C string. And then your ring finger is going to go on the 11th fret of the C string. Pinky right under it, so on the 11th fret of the E. And then you're going to put your index finger on the 8th fret of the A string like this. So it's going to be 8, 11, 11. Index finger ready it for the 8th fret. And then your middle finger is kind of up in the air, so you can use that as an anchor to fret that G shape again. And then you can start again and do it as many times as you like. So 1, 2,